This is Congregation Beth Israel's official podcast, Latkes Ketchup. I am Rabbi Ezra Leventhal, and I am joined on the podcast today by Cantor Sharon McCord. Welcome, Sharon.
Hi, nice to join you and to be here.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you. So you have been a longtime CBI member. How long have you been here in Charlottesville?
We moved to Charlottesville in 1991, and about 6 months later, I went to my first service here. Before this building that we're in right now was built, and it was just the little brick thing, and I fell in love.
Aww. Yeah. What was special about CBI to you?
Well, I spent quite a few years from leaving my hometown in upstate New York, going to college, and I tried a few synagogues in Boston and New York City, and they just felt so big and impersonal, and I didn't feel loved and welcomed. I came into this synagogue here, and once I got over the fact that, gosh, it looks like a church in here, because we are in the South, I just was drawn in by the traditional nusach, Shabbat nusach, and the traditional melodies that were done on a Saturday morning. And I thought, oh, yeah, I know this. I recognize this. I am this. I'm home. And so I became a regular for a while until, the explosion of children and all that stuff, which kept me from traveling too much.
Right.
And it's been my home ever since.
Yeah. And that really is your vibe too. I remember the first time we talked to each other, you were like, come over to my house. I got there was a full spread of coffee and pastries that you had made, and you even had things that I could eat, even though I can't eat dairy, and so I can't eat anything. And I think I was there for like 2 hours. Yeah. So the traditional vibe and the welcome vibe, absolutely on par with a Cantor Sharon experience.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about Sharon, but we haven't talked much about your cantorate. How did you come to be a cantor?
Well, this is a very long and funny story.
Yeah.
It started actually in about, I'm not going to take too much time here, but I could because I'm me. It started in the early aughts, about 2003, 2004, when Rabbi Dan Alexander used to have me come and help out with some melodies.
Right.
And so I would come on Friday night, and I would co-lead with him, but I was very nervous about it, and he kind of took me under his wing. And then in the middle of the decade, he started sending me to HUC in the summers for their summer workshops, and I really learned a lot about leadership, and I just sucked it in like I was breathing it, and it was going deep into me. And that was the first thought I had. I really want to do this. I want to learn more. And the head of the cantorial program at HUC said, you should apply. So the first time I applied was about 2007. And then we had this nice engaging interview. And then at some point along the lines, it was revealed that I was in an interfaith marriage.
Right.
And so they said, thank you very much, goodbye. The next year, I went to another workshop at HUC, and again, please apply. So I applied again, got rejected again. The next year, I went to the final. It's a 3-year program. And after that, because every time I came, I wanted it more. I just wanted to immerse myself into Jewish prayer. I wanted to know more about Nusach. I wanted to do what I was doing here. I was acting it,
right,
but it wasn't coming from my kishkas yet. And then after the third time being rejected, I found myself in a hot tub in Sarasota with the head of the rabbinical program at the Aleph ordination program, and she told me that I should apply.
Oh my goodness.
And so I did, and I was accepted, and I had a wonderful teacher, Chazan Jack Kessler of blessed memory, who taught me the ropes, and his wife and head of the rabbinical program, Rabbi Marcia Prager, really brought out this deep Hamishness in me. That is a word, right? Hamishness?
Yeah, Hamishness. It means like folksy in Yiddish.
Hamishkeit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hamishkeit. I think it's more Yiddish. Correct. Correct Yiddish conjugation. And so the Olive program, you asked me a little bit about it. So it is a program that is neo-Hasidic in its style. It's we learn from our masters, like the Hasidic, the young Hasids would learn from their masters, and there's a lot of emphasis on embodied prayer and engaging prayer. It's not performative. It is reaching into the soul and expressing through the liturgy.
It's beautiful.
Divine energy.
Yeah.
And so that is how I was trained, and that is how I approach leading worship, whether it is here or any of the other pulpits that I am fortunate enough to lead from.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I know we're going to dig more into that in our formal discussion, but I must ask you first, Sharon, did you bring the latke or the ketchup?
You know that I don't just come with condiments. I come with the main dish. So I came with latke today.
Yes, you brought the latke. I'm doing the easy lifting. I brought the ketchup today. So as always, we're going to start with the latke. So Sharon, what did you bring for us to discuss today?
So I brought a piece of liturgy that I have had some trouble with over the years.
Yeah.
Now, we all know Aleinu l'shabech l'Adon HaKol, Ha'tet Gedula Yotzer Breshit, Shehu Noteh Shamayim ve'oseh Haaretz, Yaraptaram Tapana Yapapapapa. We all know that melody, right?
We all know that
melody. We all
melody.
dance to it. We bend our knees. We do all kinds of calisthenics to it because it's that kind of melody.
It is upbeat.
Yes.
Towards the end of the service, second to last liturgically, wants to bring us right up before we get into the mourner's Kaddish, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, I've had a problem with Aleinu for a very long time.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of lines that, unless I'm leading and I think, everybody just wants to do Aleinu. I try and stay away from.
Yeah.
Toward the beginning, there is the line, Shelo asanu k'gaye haratzon v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama. God has not made me like the other people of the earth. And according to the translation from Tehillat Hashem, He has not assigned us a portion like theirs, for they bow to vanity and nothingness. And I just can't say that in good consciousness, because good conscience or consciousness.
Not if you're conscious. Maybe in your sleep.
Because I believe that there is divine in everyone. There is divine in your friend, and there is divine in your not friend. And the way to repair the world, to do tikkun olam, is to see God in the eyes of the other.
Yeah.
And so if you page through the Aleinu, there is toward the end a line. Now remember I said tikkun olam? So the words here are letaken olam b'malchut Shaddai v'chol b'nei vasar yikru bishmecha. And that translates in this arrangement of music that I did. May all the broken pieces of the world be mended in divine light.
Wait, I want to slow us down a little bit. I feel like there are some bumps in the road on your journey to the Aleinu that I want us to make sure we hit before we get to your version of it.
Go ahead.
So obviously we've got these really hard to swallow lines about keeping us separate from other people, understanding us as a separate people. What would you say is the overarching, like if you had to summarize Aleinu, what would you summarize the gist of the prayer?
It's a pledge of allegiance to
The Pledge
God.
of Allegiance. Yeah. So part of it is we're special. You chose us. We're different than other people. Other people, what they're doing, not as good as what we're doing. Mm-hmm. We're going to fix the world. Yay, God. Kind of like that.
That's amazing summary.
Thank you. I went to rabbinical school, so. And then we talked a little bit about the melody of Aleinu. Obviously, we did our da 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 at the top. Do you know anything about the origins of the melody, or can you speak a little bit to the melody paired with these lines?
The only thing I could say that this is a common term for music that has come from so far back that we don't really know where it comes from.
Yeah.
We call these melodies Mi Sinai, or from Mount Sinai.
Right.
Clearly, it's not that old.
Yeah.
But it is old enough that I couldn't tell you where it comes from. All I know is I sang it as a kid, my parents sang it as a kid, and their parents sang it as a kid.
Yeah.
So it's been around. It's been around. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that melody is the best way to serve the liturgy.
Absolutely. So I remember you told me a little bit of this story. You were in cantorial school and you were fired up about your anti-Aleinu sentiments, from what I recall.
Yes.
Yeah. So what came of that?
So this was this was early on in the program. So I was complaining loud enough because I was supposed to be leading this service with a group of other cantorial and rabbinical students. And Marcia Prager told the rabbinical student, "Oh, don't worry about Aleinu. Sharon's going to write something that'll be appropriate." And I heard back from my service leader that I was therefore assigned to do something.
That is what you get for complaining loudly around someone in power. You get responsibilities every time.
Right. Be the change you wish to see in the world.
And if you do not actively choose to be the change, someone else will choose it for you.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So you wrote your own version.
So I wrote my own version. So as I alluded to these verses, the verses that really hit me the most were toward the end, which are about our duty to repair the world, to make it a better place, to banish the wickedness, and those people who do have wicked ways, we don't want to banish them. We want to turn them to goodness and turn them to see the light. And that's what I mean about by seeing the divine light in others. You can be in conversation and you both become enlightened.
Yeah.
That way. And so these are the two verses that I chose to set. These two verses of liturgy I set to music that is more loving.
Yeah.
You know, it's more congruous with the text. As opposed to, we will save the world and we will not be wicked anymore.
Other people are bad. They're very, very bad.
But we are very good. Ain't owed.
Yeah, I think that obviously we should be using these in services. I think that the Cantor Sharon and Rabbi Ezra cover of Aleinu. Absolutely not. No. Yeah. Don't quote me on that. But that's great. Okay, so thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Are you ready to hear a little bit about the ketchup that I brought to compare?
Yeah, I've got my napkin out.
Yeah, you don't want to get that on you.
No.
Ketchup, it stains. Mm-hmm. So, I would like to talk about a musical creation and recreation as well. Perhaps slightly less Messina, if you will. Are you familiar with the song Mad World by Tears for Fears?
I am.
Yeah. So are you a fan of the song?
I did not know it when it was new. I know that's not true. You couldn't swim in the soup of the 1980s and not know Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
So definitely heard it. I didn't I didn't play music on the radio because I was in the conservatory and I was studying.
Right.
So, but I did hear it, and it was in the soup of who I was in the mid '80s. So yes.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say I too did not hear it when it was new, but I didn't exist yet, so I did have a good reason for not knowing it when it was new. But so. When I think of songs whose music does not match its words, this is the first one that jumps to mind for me. And there are two popular versions of it. So listeners out in the ether, if you are thinking of a version of this song that does match, the lyrics match the tone, hold on a minute, I'm going to get there. But we're going to start with the Tears for Fears version. So this version of the song was originally written by the frontman of Tears for Fears, Roy Orzabal, in 1982. It was released in 1982, but he originally wrote it when he was 19 years old. Now, at the time he was living in Bath, and he was living in a flat above a pizza parlor in the city center. 19, didn't know what he was doing, just like watching people go to work every morning. He didn't have a job. He was just like trying to make it as a musician, and was watching all these people go to their corporate jobs, walking around in suits and Russian places. And he just felt really, really outside of it. And so that was really kind of in his brain and what he was thinking about. And another thing that he was thinking about was music that he did like, which was mostly new wave music. So he said that the major influence for this song was actually Duran Duran's Girls on Film, which, shocking. I mean, how do you get from Girls on Film, which is basically just like, wow, beautiful girls and pictures of them, that's nice, to Mad World, whose lyrics are, I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad, the dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. Wild departure. But essentially, he was noodling around with the melody to Girls on Film and got from there to the melody that he ended up using for Mad World. And he had these ideas about all of these bourgeoisie people running to their jobs that he saw every day. And he was also thinking about one final influence, which I think is just a fascinating testament to this band. But apparently at the time when he was 19, he was very into Arthur Janov's primal scream theory. Are you familiar with this?
No.
Okay, if I just say the phrase primal scream theory, what do you think I'm talking about?
I would think about people going out into the woods and just screaming and to get their tension out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, it's kind of in the consciousness of people. But when it was written, I think in 77, it was really radical. But a lot of what his theory was talking about catharsis and how we release really negative emotions and how we sit with really negative emotions. And this really seemed to fascinate Orzabal. The name Tears for Fears actually comes from this theory as well. The album that this song was on, The Hurting, comes from primal scream theory. And one of the most famous lines of this song, "The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had," is a direct reference to the primal scream theory, because he theorizes that dreaming about death could be one of the best potential releases of catharsis that a person could experience. So he was not saying it. The line, I think, reads as suicidal, but what he's actually saying is, it's kind of funny. Dreaming about dying is a really positive experience for me.
Yeah.
So it's that, learning that about the background of it did kind of make a little bit more sense to me. But for full context, how would you describe the melody of the original Tears for Fears Mad World?
Well, it's not super happy fun, but it's not moody either.
No.
It's rhythmic there, and it's it's in a major key.
Yeah.
If you listen to Jewish music, I'm getting back to the Latke for just a second.
Yeah.
Jewish music is almost always in a minor key unless
Right.
it's certain nusach, but we feel sad and we feel in a minor key, and this is like rhythmic in a and it's in a major key, and so it's not, I think it's kind of funny, I think it's kind of sad, ding, 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 it's kind of in between.
It's not nearly as happy as Aleinu,
no.
but it's danceable.
Yes.
It's got a really heavy percussive beat in the back that really comes through in the song. And I can just imagine, like people like thrashing around to it, I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad. I don't know if that's going to come through on the recording, but we'll see. So, but it does not, it certainly, if you just heard the melody without the words, you would not imagine it starting out with "All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces." That's not the vibe. So that is our original. It is a song that was written by a 19-year-old about feeling like a depressed outsider.
Right.
And then we get a cover about 20 years later that actually, based on the numbers, seems to have received a little bit more critical acclaim and a little bit more financial success. The Tears for Fears track was certified gold in the UK, but the cover of it, which was done by Michael Andrews and Gary Jules, which was officially released in 2003, but was in a film that was originally released in 2001, so it was kind of in the ether for a minute. That was certified platinum in the UK. It was certified platinum, I believe, in Italy as well. And then there were a few other countries in Europe where it went gold. So it got a lot more financial success, at least. But the inspiration for this cover of the song, which I think kind of goes with your idea of remaking Aleinu, you wanted to match the tone. You wanted something that made a little bit more sense of a cohesive project. So Michael Andrews, who spearheaded this project, was hired as the music composer on a film called Donnie Darko. Are you familiar with Donnie Darko?
Yes, somewhat. Yes.
Okay, only somewhat. I think even if you had seen Donnie Darko, the most anyone can say is that they're only a little familiar with Donnie Darko.
Okay.
It is a little bit of a discordant plot, even. But the basics of Donnie Darko is it's this young man, he's a teenager as well, his journey kind of trying to figure out what's going on it's kind of like a science fiction coming of age time travel situation, kind of creepy, very moody, interesting film. You know, if you're looking for a weird way to spend an hour and a half, go for it.
Okay.
That's my endorsement.
I'll put that on my calendar.
Right? So, Michael Andrews was the composer on this, and he was on a shoestring budget, so he was like, I'm just going to do all the music myself. So most of it is just instrumental, but he decided he wanted to have one proper song, and he was a huge fan of Tears for Fears as a teenager, so he decided to bring in his friend Gary Jules, and that they would record a cover of this song. And if you think about this Donnie Darko project, which is really moody, it's about a teenager, it makes perfect sense that he drew on this song. I think that it's a really good vibe in terms of fit. So in his cover of it, instead of having this big, like, synthesizer-heavy, percussive, dancey beat, he really stripped it down. It's only a piano and a little bit of cello in terms of the music. Gary Jules' voice on the track is really, really moody, haunting, almost. So if anybody was thinking of a version of this song that was sad, children waiting for the day they feel good, happy birthday. Yeah, that's the vibe of the updated version. And so, like I said earlier, it did receive more critical success, more financial success. But a lot of fans did not like the cover. They say that it kind of robs it of the complexity and that something's really lost in matching the melody with the words. So that is my ketchup. And now we got to bring in the dip. What can we learn from these two pieces of music that are so discordant with their words?
That's a great question. There is an irony, a critical irony, in having discord sometimes. this is a complex subject. Certainly, your ketchup is complex.
Yeah.
And so having that discord. Even in the Tears for Fears video.
Yeah.
He's sitting behind a glass window, looking out and kind of looking depressed.
Yeah.
And then there's this video of when they get to Happy Birthday, the children are going crazy. So you see the complexity.
Yeah.
In the video of the original.
Yeah.
So I think there is a place for that.
Yeah.
Now, when coming into a sanctuary and praying, I don't know that that's the place for irony.
Yeah.
It's certainly a place for complex emotion.
Definitely. So when I think of the Tears for Fears song, we do have the benefit of actually knowing what was going on in the heads of the people who were writing this music. So I can actually speak to the motivations here. But with the Tears for Fears song, it very directly plays on experiences of childhood. It talks about children waiting for their birthdays, being nervous at school. We're absolutely talking about being a disaffected youth or being disaffected in the context of youth. And so I think that this kind of discordant, like the depression along with the big happy dancey beat, gives you that sense of, what it feels like to feel these big emotions as a child. Right. I think that kids really can go from that place of feeling in the depth of sorrow to then being silly and doing something lighthearted again and kind of being able to carry both of those things at once. So that is how Mad World reads to me in terms of the space between the melody and the words. I think that it captures a duality of experience. Whereas with the Aleinu, it's certainly not the only time that you talked about it as a national anthem, right? Or not a national anthem, it's a Pledge of Allegiance, where one would say words of allegiance, like bringing people together against a common enemy through positive music. I think that is a pretty common strategy when we're trying to unite people. And I don't mean to, I have mixed feelings about Aleinu, to be honest. There are parts of it that I really love. I think that there's a narrative about kind of submission to fate and just feeling. There's something about it that makes me feel small in kind of a cosmic way that I do appreciate. And I don't think that necessarily saying that we are different from other people always means that we're better. So I do think that there is some room for talking about us as being set apart as long as we keep a critical eye to what that means to us.
Right.
So I'm not fully against Aleinu, but I would say that I am critical of putting this kind of us versus them mentality set to a really upbeat rhythm. Is I do think that there is kind of a sneaking the pill in a treat. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. And another reason why we choose catchy melodies is there's a lot of liturgy.
Yeah.
And if you have a nice catchy melody, it'll help you get through a lot of liturgy. When this liturgy was written, people were not literate, so they had to memorize the liturgy. So we have a lot of acrostic liturgy, things with alphabetic, verses in alphabetical order. You have to know your Hebrew alphabet,
right?
And then L'Chadodi. Which one is it that? I think it's L'Chadodi.
I think it is L'Chadodi. That's acrostic.
It's a.
It's
the name of the author.
Yes.
Alphabet's in it.
Yeah.
So there are all those kinds of tools, and so I understand from that standpoint.
Yeah.
We got a lot of liturgy to get through. Here's a fun melody. You're going to get through it.
Yeah.
And you're going to know it, and
Yeah.
So there is a function. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But if your intention, and this is getting back to my training through Aleph, is to embody divine energy.
Yeah.
When praying, if that's the, there's keva, there's the order of the service, and then there's a kavanah, there's the intention. And if my intention was to focus on the meaning of a particular prayer, that is not where I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
especially as I'm winding down after giving a drash, and then going into, as you said, the Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Right after that, I don't want to end on. It just is incongruous to have that melody.
And I think that that's one of the really beautiful things about the Jewish tradition and about CBI in particular. We have this breadth of options for how we pray. There are different ways to access these ideas, different ways to present them, different ways to experience them. And personally, I really love being in a place that is so pluralistic. And, we can have the really traditional davening, and then we can have the Reform style, and then we have Renewal Minyan come through.
And the Contemplative Shabbat.
There's so many ways to access these ideas and to be in connection with the liturgy. And it keeps things interesting.
It does.
It certainly does. In the spirit of keeping things interesting, Cantor Sharon, would you do us the honor of sharing your original Aleinu composition on the podcast with us today?
Sure.
Amazing.
Good.
Great. So let's get you on.
All right. לתקן עולם במלכות שדי וכל בני בשר יקראו בשמך. May all the broken pieces of the world be mended. Then all the broken pieces of the world be mended in your holy light, returning all the wicked of the earth to goodness, to you, returning all the wicked of the earth to goodness, to you. Lehavno delecha korishe haaretz. Lehavno delecha korishe haaretz. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo
Thank you so much for sharing that with us today.
Gladly.
I really, really appreciate that interpretation of Aleinu. I think it really captures a different side of Aleinu, and I'm glad we got to share it with our listeners.
Well, me too. Thank you.
So that leaves one very important question for you, Sharon.
Yes?
What do you like to put on your latke?
Well, first, let me clarify that not all latkes are made with white potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Some are made with sweet potatoes, and some are spiced not just simply with salt and pepper, but with a bit of cayenne and curry. So these are some hot potato, sweet potato latkes.
Ooh, Cantor Sharon is bringing the latke revolution.
That's right. That is right. And a revolutionary latke needs a revolutionary topping.
Bring us the revolution.
So the topping is delicious, homemade, rich apple butter.
Ooh, apple butter.
Yes.
I love apple butter.
Yes, with a little bit of clove in it to like kick up the flavor of the spices from the latke, but not to completely cover the flavor. You want that sweet potato sweetness to be brought out, and so the apple butter brings out that sweetness, and the clove in the apple butter kicks up the cayenne and curry. So it's awesome. It is an awesome combination, and we'll make sure that you get a chance to try it.
Thank you.
Hanukkah. Absolutely.
Yeah, honestly, I think apple butter for all latkes. Potato latkes, sweet potato curry latkes. Bring on the apple butter. Why are we just making apples into sauce?
I know, right?
Yeah.
We have to be more imaginative.
We have to be more imaginative. We can do more with apples than sauce. We can do apple butter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just like we can take our liturgy and twist it to bring out the best in our liturgy, we can twist our traditions to bring out the best in our Jewish foods.
Just like we can make apple butter, we can make Aleinu butter.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you.
of course. Thank you. Well, Cantor Sharon McCord, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Sure.
This has been Latkes Ketchup. I am Rabbi Ezra Leventhal, and I'm going to dip.